say alcohol is a part of London culture would be a massive understatement. I've been drinking ever since I turned around 15/16. I was drinking in the park. We would ask some elders to buy us a bottle of Glen's vodka and then we'd get smashed during summer nights. And I thought I was really cool. I thought, wow, look, I'm so young, drinking alcohol, doing adult shit. And I enjoyed it. Little did I know the negative impacts that it would have on my life. Then of course you become legal and it's time to indulge in it even more. If you go to university, then that's pretty much 50% of what you're doing. Actually, I think 50% is putting it lightly. And then you go into a working environment and that's all that they do too. That's all everyone looks forward to. As soon as Wednesday comes around, it's all right, yeah, let's have a cheeky beer. Thursday is Thirsty Thursday, Friday is Frinks, and then Saturday, and then Sunday, and the cycle repeats. You get one day of soberness, which is Monday. I was very much a part of this culture. Drinking was just the norm. There was no other alternative. If you didn't drink, you were seen as someone that was not sociable, not part of the team. And a lot of the time, especially in working cultures, if you weren't going to the pub after work, then you were isolated from the group. And so I quit. Cold turkey. This is the second time I've done it and it's been over a month now. There are 3 reasons as to why I decided to quit, and it actually was influenced by a month of heavy drinking. During the heat wave, there was a lot of drinking going on and I realized, bro, this is a problem. So the first reason that I quit was because of the money. Now, when I was younger, of course, it wasn't that much of an issue because we weren't legally allowed to drink, so we would only be buying alcohol from the off license. Of course, it's not cheap, but it's not expensive. It's not anything compared to bar prices. And so if there was a group of us and there's a £10 bottle of vodka, we could easily split that with the pocket change that we had. Unfortunately, once you get to a certain age, drinking in the park is no longer deemed acceptable. And so you have to go to clubs, you have to go to bars, and the prices that they charge are somewhat extortionate. Typically as well, when you're going with a group of people, you end up buying rounds of drinks. So you're buying a round of drinks for, let's say, 5 people. That adds up very quickly, and people don't check their bank balances until the next day and they realize, oh frick, how did I spend £200 on G&Ts? Absolutely crazy. So yeah, now when I'm going out, I'm not spending an extortionate amount of money on alcohol. Soft drinks are a lot cheaper. Typically I don't even buy those. I'll stick to some sparkling water. I used to hate it and now look at me. But yeah, that's number 1. The money that I've saved, I know I can put towards much better things, such as a book, for example, or a Netflix subscription, I don't know. It just means that I'm not having to spend a large portion of my paycheck on something that is damaging my body. Which brings me on to point number 2. It's to do with the health aspect of things. Now, I'm sure you guys know, if you're a long time subscriber of the channel, that I am a lot more focused on my health, physicality. And so when it came to the point where I was cutting, I realized that, sure, I'm getting rid of all of these burgers and all of these French fries and stuff, but I'm still going out and drinking alcoholic drinks, especially cocktails, which have a very high calorie count. I'll give you an example. There's a bar called Simmons Bar. It's a chain of bars, and I would go there and get 2 for 1 on cocktails. Now, my cocktail of choice would be a Long Island iced tea. Why? Because it's supposed to get you the most drunk. So I thought, okay, let me get a Long Island iced tea, 2 for 1. When I looked at how many calories are in one of these drinks, we're looking at 700 calories, guys. Now times 2, that's 1400. If I'm getting 3 rounds, that's 6 Long Island iced teas. That's 4,200 calories. What's my daily intake supposed to be? Around 2,500. So it's crazy that I'm consuming all of this. It's not even like I'm getting filled up and I'm just getting drunk. It's just not worth it. Now I realized this when I was still drinking, and so I decided to switch to what they call a skinny bitch drink, which is a G&T or sometimes just vodka and sparkling water. But even then, whilst you've mitigated the risk that your body is physically taking on, there are also the negative side effects of drinking that affect your mental health and your brain health. It worries me because I've been drinking for such a long time and at an age that you shouldn't be drinking at, where your body is not ready to be consuming such toxins. But my friend, there are a plethora of negative consequences that come with drinking. I was listening to a podcast by neuroscientist Andrew Huberman. I think it's around 2 hours long, but when I listened to it and I deeped it, yeah, this is just not worth it. He went into actually talking about certain behaviors that you can see in people that end up becoming alcoholics. So go and watch that, and then next time you're at a party, you can look and say, ah, Max, yeah, you're definitely gonna be an alcoholic when you're older, mate. I'm sorry about that. So that's point number 2. health. The third point I realized is that I actually just don't need it. Of course, alcohol lowers your inhibitions and it gives you somewhat a boost of confidence to be able to do things such as dance when you're out and talk to girls. I don't want to rely on a poison to be able to get me to do those things. I should be able to dance confidently in a room full of people without having alcohol flowing from my body, and similarly be able to speak to a beautiful woman that I see and think, yeah mate, it's not because I'm drunk, it's because I think that I want to get to know you, or you just look good to dance with for the one night. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, being tipsy or a little bit drunk does give me that confidence boost, but like I said, I don't want to rely on it. Naturally, I'm quite the confident person anyway, so I don't think that I need to. But even if you are a shy person, I would encourage you to be able to go out, come out of your shell without relying on alcohol. Because then, especially when you're involved in situations and there's no alcohol, you're like, oh shit, I need a drink. You don't want that. That's a whole cope, bro. You do not want that. You don't want that at all. So yeah, those are the reasons. I think it is important, especially if you are young now, to really think about whether you want to continue drinking, because when you're younger, you naturally don't like the taste of alcohol. We as humans, we prefer sweet things, which is why people end up liking cocktails, and disliking bitter things. But then your body starts to associate those tastes with the benefits that they bring about. So for example, I used to hate coffee. Now I like coffee, whether that's the caffeine or I just like the sensation of drinking coffee is a different story. But the same thing applies to alcohol. When you drink and you feel tipsy, you begin to associate that feeling with alcohol, and so you end up craving it when you're out. It's like, oh, you know what I could do with a nice refreshing beer. You don't need it. I'm not gonna tell you to stop drinking as a whole. Obviously, I'm 24 years old and it's taken me a long time to realize that I don't need it. To be honest, I don't think it took me a long time to realize I don't need it. I knew I didn't need it, but societal pressures, when you're out with friends and they're drinking, you just want to be part of the fun, let's be honest. But you know, there's no point doing what everyone else is doing, because then you just end up like an average Joe, which you, my friend, are not. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment down below what you think about alcohol. How is your relationship with alcohol? As your friend, I've got you. Speaking of which, we are setting up a Discord server for people like us that want to improve their lives. Shout out to my boy Rahul for putting me on this mission. I'm gonna be creating it. I'm gonna be linking it down in the description below. I expect to see all of the people that are regular commenters to be there. You know who you are. All right, so enjoy that. As your friend, I've got you. See you next time.